Hey, Mike, what do Kelly Slater and PT have in common?
I don't know. They're both world champs?
Nope. They both own Endless Summer box set.
Oh my God, rad. You guys, you can get it too. The link's in the show notes.
Went down to Waimea Bay. What a fantastic sunny day. Boys and girls hanging round. Surfers going up and down. That's when I caught my wave. Knew what to do. Surf that wave right to the shore. And it's dreams come true.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Quivercast. I am Mike, your host. Let's get into the show. All right. The Willis Brothers are on the Quivercast today. Stoked. We have Milton.
Oh.
And Michael.
Aloha nui.
How are you guys doing?
Doing real good. This is Milton here.
Milton?
Yes, and I wanted to say, Mike Steele in the Quivercast, thank you for having us here.
I'm honored you guys are here. It was so nice to meet you guys and have you guys come on. How you doing, Michael?
Very good. Thank you for having us here.
Yeah, thanks. All right. Hey, where do you guys live right now?
Currently doing business out of Solana Beach, where we started.
Okay. You guys grew up in Solana Beach or Encinitas? Where'd you guys grow up?
It's an interesting story, and it's in our new book,
Okay.
100-Foot Wave official book.
Yep.
And it tells the story. We were actually, check it out, conceived in Pacific Beach.
Okay.
On Jewel Street. PB.
All right.
Born in Las Vegas, raised in Solana Beach.
At what age?
Oh, we moved there when we were 2.
Okay. So your whole life, basically.
My whole life. And then about 17 years old, we ventured over to Hawaii.
Okay. So but let's not
That's where we grew up. So back to the story. We raised in Solana Beach, grew up in Hawaii. It's so hardcore over there, you know.
Yes, I've been there. Michael. So you guys are twins, by the way.
Yes, identical twins.
Identical twins. Okay. What's your first memory of going surfing?
Oh, I love that. Thank you.
Okay.
Solana Beach, California. A friend of mine, I believe it was 3rd or 4th grade. It was 5th grade. And he came over and he had a balsa wood surfboard.
Okay.
And the board had been shaped in the 40s.
Wow. Okay.
And
heavy as heck, probably.
It was. It took 2 of us to carry it to the beach.
Of course.
And one day he goes, hey, you got to try this. This is the coolest thing that ever happened. Right away.
Yeah.
We went out, waist deep water, maybe so forth. Thank God it was high tide, as smooth could be, hot as could be, summer day. Oh, it was a winter day, actually. But hot. He goes, just lay down and then pop up and ride the wave into the whitewater to the sand.
All right.
And, of course, I'll always remember my first wave on a balsa wood board. My first wave on the balsa wood board and rode it all the way to the sand. I was so stoked, out of my head stoked. The very next day, I grabbed twin brother Milton and I go, Milton, you got to try this. And the 3 of us carried the board back down. And that's where I initiated Milton into surfing.
Okay. So Michael was the first surfer of the family.
Absolutely.
How old are you?
Must have been 11.
Okay. Just a young Grom.
But our father had taken us to the beach ever since we were 2 years old.
Okay.
And he was surfing in Solana Beach, our father.
Your dad surfed?
Yeah, body surfed.
Body surf.
He was a body surfer.
Okay.
He never let us go. You know, he'd hold us, but we'd jump over waves and then graduated to rafts. So we were always in the water culture.
Do you remember if this was winter or summer you paddled that board the first time?
It had to be probably spring, now that I really analyze it.
Yeah.
You know.
Water still cold?
Cold water, but as a kid, you know, we didn't go past our knees.
Yeah.
Or even our waist. Turned around and rode the whitewater in.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't as if we were fully... But we continued on. Thanks to Milton. We got surfboards, and it was Milton who said to me, Michael, hey, listen to this. I'm done with this whitewater.
Really? Okay.
Let's go to the green water. And that's where surfing started for me. Cardiff, California.
Cardiff Reef?
Yeah. When Milton goes, come on, we got to go outside. Forget this inside stuff. It was Milton.
So how many guys were surfing Cardiff Reef at that point?
A whole lot of hardcore guys. Tommy Lewis, Billy Brummett, the Bowman family, the Hassett family, the Foders. Mm-hmm. All the hardest core guys. Tommy Lewis, world class. He won the Malibu contest, but just before he passed away, a few years before he passed away. Tommy Lewis, one of the greatest surfers ever out of Cardiff. We saw him in the Doryman right there.
What year is this? Around?
Circa 68.
Okay, 68. So surfing was a thing at that point.
Big. Within the small community that did it,
Yeah.
it was a hardcore group of fellows who, it was crowded, but it was crowded and hardcore.
Even in today's standards, it was crowded?
Probably about the same. It might be less crowded in ways today with mellower people.
Yeah.
It was a little pack of hardcore surfers.
Okay. Milton, when you went out the first time out the back, what gave you the desire to do so?
We started at the beginning, the white waters.
Yeah.
And mastered it.
Okay.
And it was just a natural progression. And we saw the other guys outside of us, told myself, we can do that. We can do it. And we did. And it's addicting. And once the ocean, you get that relationship with it, some people continue it their entire lives. There's still people going to this day that have done it longer than we have.
A lot now. It's a different time. Was there a lot of old people out there when you guys started surfing?
When we started surfing, the main people were Mike Purpose, Joyce Hoffman, who was the first woman lifeguard in the state of California. Fascinating. Yep. Joyce Hoffman.
Yeah.
Drew Harrison and Donald Takayama. It was a group of hardcore guys and the shapers. And gals. And we almost, at the same time we got into the surfing and the riding swells, we started getting into building our own boards.
We'll get into that.
All right.
Let's not rush it too fast.
Thank you.
We still got we got plenty of time.
I love talking about the surfing.
Yeah. Let's keep on the surfing.
Well, beach breaks. We started out in beach breaks.
Okay.
So when we got to the reef breaks, it was amazing because they held their shape.
Yeah, they went for a long time.
And you could get out. And we never knew such a wave existed.
Oh, yeah, you had channel. You had a little channel to get around. Do you remember that day at the back? Going back to that day? Was it 2 foot, 4 foot? How big do you think it was?
You know, for us, a head-high wave was spooky
giant, right?
and giant. And it gave you that rush. Other things that come back in my memory is because we were used to surfing sand. So you look, the water was clear.
Yeah.
You look down, it's a reef and eelgrass and orange fish, the Garibaldi state fish. It was a really magical feeling. Much different than surfing a beach break where the water's a little bit murky. And so it all added up to it. And then the clear water, and you're thinking, God, I could hit that reef as a kid. Mm-hmm. And then the first time. And then at Cardiff Reef, you see fins.
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah.
It was a dolphin. You kid, you never saw a dolphin? We thought it might be a shark.
Oh, did you? Okay. So you start surfing at 11. How old are you now? You paddle out the back? Around what age?
11 and a half.
11 and a half, 6 months. Okay. So you started in spring. By the end of summer, you're paddling out the back kind of deal.
Never looked back.
Now you guys are fully in surfboard. And Michael, you said that Milton got you guys boards. What boards were they? And where'd you get them?
This is a beautiful story. It was in Cardiff. There was a little surf shop in Cardiff. And our father, who was a hardworking man living in Solana Beach, and he had 5 kids, and, it was difficult for him to take. Getting a board for us was difficult at the time as 11-year-olds.
I imagine, yeah.
And so our father put some money down on some boards.
Like a layaway.
He did call it a layaway. Yeah. I think the board, one was $40 and one was $25.
Yeah, it's probably a lot of money back then.
Oh, certainly. And anyhow, he never got them paid off for a long time, but we somehow had boards. But finally, we got the money to pay him off.
Cool.
Of course, the boards were sold already. Okay. So Milton started off his first proper board, I believe, was a Warty.
Oh, wow. Okay.
A Warty. And it was just gorgeous. It was an old beat-up board with the old fin that's just chunk of plywood. No shape to it. The back wasn't cut out.
Okay.
And mine, the back was cut out.
Okay.
And it was a GNS 3-stringer.
Wow.
Probably the most bitchin' board that ever anybody ever owned. And mine was $25.
And Milton's 40?
The Warty was 40.
Okay. Did you guys go and pick your boards out, or Dad pick them out for you?
Nobody picked them out. We laid out, hey, that board looks great.
Okay.
And then a few weeks or months later, when Dad finally came up with the cash, thank you, Dad, the boards were gone, and the guy goes, I'll give you these for... he picked them. The salesman picked them. But we got rid of those about a week later because McTavish and Wayne Lynch, who we later on in life became this awesome guy, but Wayne Lynch, all these guys from Australia were influencing us
Yeah.
And also non-contests, let's get back to the roots, and everybody should build their own boards. And there was an explosion at that time. So a week later, it was like, that board is obsolete. Even though it was the greatest board, if people had it today, they'd be freaking out.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Should be in the museum today, probably.
Or surfed, like at Wind and Sea.
Oh, there you go.
But at the time, the boards went ballistic. Immediately, within a year, we were on...
Shortboards.
Like, very short.
Do you remember your first shortboard?
I do. And the era that he's talking about was specifically when the shortboard evolution came upon us. Dale Dobson fought the last battle. He won the 4A event in Santa Cruz for the longboard.
Yeah.
But after that, the longboard basically, up until recently, got buried and was retired. And we had a friend named Bill Fairbrother who had just returned from Australia, and Bob McTavish had affected him, and he turned us on to the V-bottom and the shortboard. So my first shortboard I got from him, a used one, which was a real thick V-bottom tail with a glass-on fin.
How long did you stay with that board?
Not too long.
Clunker.
Oh, it wasn't working.
Didn't like it.
Everything about it was a clunker. Big old V bottom, the bottom was V'd.
So they were experimenting with boards. They were trying to figure out what worked, it sounds like.
Not necessarily what worked, but what could work optimally or differently, different approaches to surfing. Turning was coming in. Remember, the guys right up ahead of us, you can ask Jerry Lopez, he'll tell you. The guys right ahead of us were riding wooden boards and going straight.
Right.
That was where it was at.
Tom Blake picture kind of thing.
That's the guys right ahead of us.
Yeah.
Lopez will tell you. Mike Doyle came out with an article going, turning is the thing. Was
that just dropping down the face, going in one direction, or is that like doing a bottom turn and coming back up?
Well, if you saw Barry Kanaipuni, and that whole evolution thing, and David Nueva and a bunch of those guys, or Wayne Lynch, take that guy, figure eights on the wave, from going and hanging 10 straight, David Nueva, to the next thing you know, turn the page. It's Wayne Lynch doing figure eights. And nowadays, I'm seeing 9-year-olds in videos doing figure eights and then coming up and doing ollie oops upside down and coming back. It's unbelievable. But at the time, figure eight was a big deal.
Okay. Basically what I'm hearing from both of you guys, surfing was changing real quickly. And you guys were kind of there, tail end of longboard, going shortboard revolution.
We never really did the longboard outside of start on it. In fact, that longboard was...
We were so young.
Yeah, we got out of that. We missed that whole thing. Although it's in my heart because I started on it, and I know how to ride smooth, and I know the elements. John Peck said the other day, our whole deal was to get it as close to the power as possible and not run away from it to do a trick.
Right.
And
now you're going out the face and all kinds of...
I'm still going for the power. I'm still staying in the peak as deep as I can get.
Yeah, on the curl part.
And if I can go up to the top and bash it, fine, but I'm not running from it. Today's surfers sort of run from it and try to do a trick.
They're racing down the line.
That's what it is.
They're on huge airs, and I don't...
It's fantastic.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's cool. I don't know. I mean, they kind of waste a lot of the wave.
Well, that's what Peck said.
I mean, right? What's your thoughts? You have a thought? Let's hear Michael's thought and Milton's thought on this.
Thank you, Michael. My thought is that, you can blow out some knees doing that stuff. I like being attached to the wave. It's a really nice feeling, especially being inside it. But the tubes that I'm seeing these guys doing today are every bit phenomenal.
Okay.
And their surfing that they're doing, almost called super surfing. We should separate surfing, soul surfing, from professional surfing, and then super surfing.
Okay.
These kids are doing super surfing. And it's great. It's wonderful to watch. It has its place.
Yeah.
We need this athleticism because it spurs us and inspires us as humans. However, it also riding a wave like Joel Tudor with his straight back.
Yeah.
Cruising it along. You got, it's a feeling.
Milton, what's your thoughts? You remember the question?
I do.
Okay.
He's here. He's present.
Well, it's interesting, but when we first started surfing, there was no such thing as a swallowtail or a winger or a stinger or a double concave or even a removable fin. All that was new, and it was happening with the youth. And we were fortunate enough that as kids, we could have our finger on the pulse and adapt to our boards real quickly. So we were the first guys in California to try wingers and to try swallowtails. Ben Ipa and these people, thank you. To the answer to the question, surfing has evolved so far. When we started surfing, it was myopic. Everybody wore a black wetsuit and rode the exact same board and did the exact same moves and style. Nowadays, it's a wonderful thing because everybody's included, from bodyboarders, short boarders, long boarders, mid-range boarders. It's just opened up, and it's a lot more expressive. And surfing is a lot more tolerant than it used to be.
Or do you think every little segment of those segments, the short boarder versus the long boarder versus the mid-length guy versus the bodyboarder, they're all riding waves, right?
They're all riding waves.
But there's clashes in the water. You know, the short boarder doesn't necessarily like the longboarder who's getting all the waves because he can get in the wave earlier. You know what I'm saying? I don't see a lot of bodyboarders paddling out at the Seaside Reef or Cardiff Reef. You know,
but there's a lot of body surfers out there.
There are some, but that's still rare.
And everywhere has its specific.
It's all good. I'm just saying. Yeah.
Pipeline's kind of more for short boarders. Waimea Bay is more for guns.
Yeah, but look at Mike Stewart, right?
But look at Mike Stewart. So there's always different individual cases, but for me, just to see the expansion and the acceptance in surfing has been wonderful.
Do you love it?
Love it.
You love everyone have their own niche. Do you guys mix up your niche? Do you ride the longboard on certain days, paddle out a shortboard the next day, or you maybe switching in the halfway through a session or something, switching boards out? What are you guys doing?
Well, this is Milton, and
Milton.
This is late October 2023.
Right now.
And the waves have been phenomenal in the super El Nino year. It got huge, 4 times overhead. And we rode them on the wave storm.
Wow.
Yeah, it was fun.
Is that your go-to board now?
Yes.
Okay.
I like the wave storm because you can ride it and nobody gets hurt.
But you also, especially if the waves are that big and you guys paddled out, you're losing some of the design that are made for like certain waves, right? Or not. I'm asking. It's a question, I guess. It's not a statement.
Well,
I'm going to say it's kind of a statement for myself. There's no way I'm paddling out anything bigger than chest high with a wave storm.
There was a
That's
guy.
my opinion.
There was a guy out there on a 5.2.
Yep.
There was a guy out there on a Oola board, just a real thin piece of with no fin.
That's interesting.
So again, back to it's whatever floats your boat, I guess.
Okay.
It's whatever you enjoy riding.
Yeah,
really
course.
focus on yourself, because that other kid that's 14 years old and weighs 100 pounds and is ripping, and you weigh 200 pounds, you got to get a different board.
That's true. What I'm hearing is just get in the water.
Just get in the water. It's a panacea. It does help everyone. And as long as you can stay in the water and keep your balance, you'll be a better person on the land.
I agree with that.
I agree with that.
Yeah. Michael agrees with that. Milton, we all do. That's rad. You guys are teenagers now. You're starting to become teenagers. How is surfing in your life? What's going on? Is it full bore since 11 years old? Just go, surf. Michael.
Well, thanks for asking me. If you look in the book, 100 Foot Wave, the official book, which we've authored.
Yep. And we'll put that in the show notes, everyone.
Oh, that's awesome. It starts out, we had a little bit of, just like Garrett McNamara, we've known for a few decades, doing his beautiful mom, Mary. We had a rough beginning. A lot of kids had a rough beginning. You probably had a rough beginning, but we had a rough beginning. Our mom had issues. It's in the book. But so we spent a lot of time. Anybody who was at the beach all the time, I mean, usually parents have curriculum or activities and so forth, but we spent a lot of time at the beach honing our skills, like Mike Doyle.
Okay.
We were also in sports. We played for Surfboards Hawaii, baseball.
Oh, okay.
And Milton and I made all-stars. We played football. We did track, basketball.
Is this in high school or what is this?
All the way from...
Just like Pop Warner kind of stuff?
We did Pop Warner.
Okay.
We did it all. But throughout it, we were always surfing. Us and, as Milton mentioned, this one young fellow named Bill Fairbrother, and another fellow named Frank Smith, who was absolutely awesome, who later went to Hawaii with us and surfed Indonesia with us. Surfing, how would you say, Milton? It pretty much consumed from the time we started. I mean, we never left it. We just got more into it.
It's manifest destiny. It was something we were chosen to be, and we became surfers, and it's our practice.
Okay.
And we're devoted to surfing.
Yeah.
And that's what we do. So it's you when you say your practice, and when we're surfing, we're doing our practice. much like a lawyer, a doctor, or a chef.
But balance, like Bruce Lee, the wheels, the spoke going through the wheels.
As a teenager, how'd you balance it?
A
Michael.
student.
You were an A student?
Yeah.
Milton, were you an A student?
Michael was a student.
I love that.
That's Michael. Yeah, he was a student. I was a grade A student.
I was a grade A plus.
Okay, what does that mean? Now you're throwing me off.
A
What
plus.
were your grades at school?
A,
Michael.
A plus. One day we compared our papers, and I thought, and I got the A plus.
Okay. Milton, how'd you do?
I got A's.
Oh, my, jeez. Now,
Oh, and then sports, and then studying. Yeah, we were balanced, always balanced.
okay.
Surfing was a feather in the cap, not the whole bonnet.
Got you. Understood.
But each feather in the bonnet is there for a reason.
You're, let's say, 16 now. So you do that first 4 or 5 years. You're playing other sports. Am I correct? Stop me if I'm wrong.
Well, and also we were building the boards at 16.
You started building boards.
Somebody turned me on to Sunset Surfboards in Encinitas.
Yeah.
And that was Craig Wright, who lives on Kauai right now. Everybody knows him on Kauai. And he said, hey, go see Ed Wright of Encinitas at Sunset Surfboards, which at the time was a very big deal.
Yeah.
Hansen kind of was there. So anyhow, at 16 or 17, I was in there shaping surfboards for $8 a board, 5 a day.
Under Sunset label?
Sure. With Bill Shrosby, Sid Madden, Pat Flecky. Rusty Preisendorfer came in there a couple times and built some boards. I don't know what he was doing. Brewer came by there. Bunch of guys. But at 16 and 17, and Milton at that time already took off for Hawaii, and he goes, Michael, you're a fool. Get over here. And he's... But anyhow, so that's why I say we grew up in Hawaii, because, at 16, 17 years old, surfing Sunset Beach with no leash. And we'll talk about Blue Out Wide In, if that means anything.
Yeah, we will do that. Let's just... Let's wrap this section up.
Sure.
You guys are doing everything else, all these other sports. Milton, he splits, right? You left?
Actually, we weren't doing all these other sports. We had pretty much abandoned basketball, football, and baseball 5 years prior to that. And surfing consumed our entire lives. Lived, breathed, never got off the mind. And our whole social consumed of surfers. So we knew the surfers. We really didn't have to go to school a whole heck of a lot. As long as you could pass a test, you didn't have to show up. Our dad didn't care if we went to school.
Okay.
So we were able to go to the beach and just go surfing.
That's right.
And then we were able to establish a network of friends from, wow, believe it or not, La Jolla seemed like another country. You got to deal with Chris O'Rourke and Brew Briggs and Richard Kinvin and those people down in La Jolla.
Okay.
Up in Oceanside, you had the Boyden brothers and Mike Barron, Gary Linden, and different people up here.
Yeah.
And we were able to meet those guys years and years and years ago through the surfing network.
Okay.
So it became more than just surfing. It was our social as well.
You guys traveled up to Oceanside to surf, or you went down to La Jolla to surf? So that's how you made friends?
It was before pro surfing.
Yeah.
And there was a thing called the WSA, Western Surfing
So you guys were surfing
Association.
contest.
And man, we got into the contest. It was just so fun. Everybody was enthusiastic and
Okay.
loved it. And Michael actually got 5th in the nation. He was invited to the United States Surfing Championships. Hitchhiked all the way there from North Carolina.
Right.
To
Rough.
hitchhike. Michael had to
Very
hitchhike to the United States Surfing Championships.
With Jay Adams,
Jay
I
Adams
got
gives him
over
a
that.
ride home, and the mom and the car breaks down.
Rough. Very
Jay
rough.
Adams,
Yep, Zipperhead.
right? We're missing some stuff here, though. You're doing contests. You're traveling up and down, right?
Correct.
You're having a ball,
Yeah.
and it's consuming your life. But and mom and dad are cool with you just going surfing. Don't give a shit about school, right?
Correct.
All right. Are you guys outsiders?
Granddad had given us a Ford Falcon, a 64 Ford Falcon. That's how
Okay.
we got around. We even made it up to Santa Cruz.
Nice. We got shocked there with the way how cold the water
It
is.
was
there, but-
fantastic. 12 feet and, kids and going, this is great.
Are you guys considered outsider by mainstream society? Or what do you guys think about
That's a
outside
good-
society?
It depends because they're
This is Michael talking.
yeah, that's a complex, very, very, very complex question because that's very broad.
Well, yeah, because society's broad.
I can count some of my friends. I don't want to be like a name dropper, but the
Drop the names. Drop the names. I mean, that's what everyone wants to hear, right? I do.
there's people who would bowl me over, push me over to get to my friends. And my friends are very, very powerful. rich and powerful, and and just so they love me. It's like unbelievable. I'm Milton. So when you say, "Do you think you're on the the society?" Wow, I feel so loved. And if I were to mention, it's just I know these. One day I met Cardiff Reef. I'm not going to mention this guy's name, but it's Switchfoot.
Okay.
His dad's a preacher.
Okay.
This one Benz comes in. I'm talking to the guys, you know what I mean? And it's cool. Not the Switchfoot boys, but their father, the preacher.
Okay.
It's all right. He sees me with my long hair, and he looks at me, we're talking, kind of, hi.
Yeah.
Then my friend comes in her, there's a $500,000 Mercedes Benz. Her hair is all done proper, she's, fit the part.
Yeah.
I go, let's do an experiment. And I didn't tell my friend. We get in the parking lot.
Yep.
We go to turn around. You should have seen him run over to say hi to me like I was his best friend. So I guess, people's view of me depends on, different things.
Okay.
How would you answer that, Milton?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I really love it.
Yeah.
Well, I try not to take anything personal.
That's it.
So if I'm on the outside with somebody, it's because they're just not familiar. They haven't been exposed to it. But people who do know the Willis brothers, love the Willis brothers, respect the Willis brothers, know we're here for them as best we can be.
Mm-hmm.
If a brother needs a hand up, we try to extend a hand.
Yeah, I love that. That's cool. You guys are full California surfing guys. You make fifth in the nation, Michael. Things are looking up. Milton takes off to Hawaii. Why'd you take off to Hawaii? Why'd you leave your brother behind?
No, he didn't leave me behind. He couldn't twist my arm to go.
You didn't want to go.
I had a girlfriend. I had a job. I could make a little money.
Different priorities.
Yeah, Milton always had more vision than I've had. He always had vision.
Yeah.
He's always had vision.
Okay.
He wanted to ride tidal waves. He built an 8.6 Jim Turner, this very famous shaper for Dick Brewer and Andrew Smith, another great shaper. We built a shape room, and Milton was building at that. I'm building Sunset Surfboards in this, and Milton's building an 8.6 with no leash cut.
Out of the garage, or where are you shaping it out of?
A professional room in the backyard.
In Solana Beach, they built the condominiums, Del Mar Shores and all that across the way. Well, we made a deal with those guys where they gave us all the scrap wood if we'd haul it away.
All right.
Boy, we got truckloads of the scrap wood, took it to my dad's backyard and built a nice shaping room and an actual glassing room.
Nice.
Yeah, so we were building boards. Consequently, we attracted the underground board builders that had the skills and knowledge.
Mike Croteau.
Mike Croteau, Dick Brewer, different guys, because we had a shaping room right there in Solana Beach, location.
So these guys are showing up at your house?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we're nothing but sponges,
Yeah.
And Donald Takayama had Surfing's New Image
Right up the
down
street.
down there with John Wagner glassing them.
Okay.
So we were exposed to the top talent. And they kept telling us, Hawaii is where you want to be, and Sunset Beach and all this great stuff.
Plus, the surf magazines are probably showing Hawaii.
And of course, at 17, man, I worked the whole summer for my dad doing drywall.
Okay.
And I was either going to buy a guitar or go to Hawaii. You could get a round trip ticket to Hawaii for $100 or something like that.
Yeah.
It wasn't much, and that give you a little bit of money. I chose Hawaii.
There you go. So what was your first thoughts there, Milton, of Hawaii?
It's in the book.
Got off the plane.
Yeah, don't. It's not.
I won't.
So
okay.
no, everyone has
Cut.
we're going to talk about the book, but everybody understand. So let's not give away the book. Gotcha.
But dig this. Get off the airplane. Never been there. Don't have no contacts. Get off the airplane. Get a phone book out. Find a used car lot. Ask somebody, how do we get on the bus to get there? Get the bus. Take it to the used car lot.
Board in hand or no board?
No board.
No board.
Leave them at the airport.
Okay.
We went there. The guy goes, I'll help you. $125 for a car. Wow.
Nah.
We bought the car, drove it back to the airport, loaded it up. Of course, we don't know where we're going, so boy, drive and take the wrong turn. There's Schofield. Okay, gives the directions. Heading to the North Shore. The car's buttering. It's barely making it. Damn, man, I ripped off. Make it to the North Shore. John Peck Chevron. Pull in and go, can you help us? He had a garage. Put some new points in it. Turned the distributor thing around like a top. Didn't charge us.
Nice. Just because you guys are surfers?
We were 17 years old, kids, just got to the North Shore. He knew we were going to be buying our gas from him and oil and whatever else it was.
All right.
From there, where were we going to sleep? Drove up Pupukea Heights. First Alapio, made a left right by Elvis Presley's old estate.
Okay.
They were building the house. It was abandoned.
All right.
That's where we slept.
Okay.
Surf all day and then sleep there at night.
Who are some of the guys you're surfing with?
It was Eddie Aikau.
Oh, wow.
was one of the main ones that sticks out in my mind.
Okay.
And there was also, of course, back in the day, the top guys were Jeff Hackman, Barrett Kanayapuni, these kind of guys. Dan Flecky, who did Unreal over here, he was regulated to third base. So Rocky Point with him, I watched, he couldn't get a wave. Wow. It was tough back then.
Yeah. A lot less people, too.
Well, North Shore, there was 12 guys living in one room that had a bike and 2 girls on the whole North Shore.
Yeah.
And it was very competitive because everybody was there for one thing, and that was surfing.
Yeah. Perfect.
It was perfect.
So you get the phone call. Michael, you get a call from Milton saying, what do you say to him?
We can do this.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I was, for a little bit of funds, pick puka shells and make puka shell necklace. Boom, you got a little bit of cash coming in. We can build our boards because we knew how to build them. Mm-hmm. And I saw a house I could rent for a couple $100 right on the North Shore. Right. I knew I could handle the rent. I knew we could be building our boards and getting ahead like that, and we'd be surfing. Okay. I tried to get Michael, hey, come on, Michael, let's go. He had his girlfriend. He didn't really want to do that at that point, and I can understand why.
No, totally get it. What happens then? Milton establishing a life in Hawaii. You're Michael's establishing a life in California. All right, so we'll fast forward a little bit. When do you decide to go over there, Michael?
The winter of 77, 78.
Okay, and at this point, how many years have you been there, Milton?
5.
Okay, 5 years. Okay, have you come back to visit at all or anything?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Go ahead, Michael.
Yeah. So that was the best decision I ever made.
Finally heading over there?
Sure.
Okay.
Powerful, amazing waves, amazing surfing. If you love surfing at that period in time, just good experience.
Okay. And then you guys are still shaping, right? Both you guys?
Well, not to the level that we ended up doing it. Michael, to get his income coming up, because he moved over there with Belina, his at that time wife. And he got a job. He was living with Pat Rawson.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and shaping local motions. And
oh, wow.
Not a whole lot, a couple times.
But Michael actually got in there because he had his background from Sunset Surfboards.
Yeah,
that's right. A real legitimate, professional, commercial
surfboard.
He could grind the foam.
Okay.
And he did.
Are you guys doing start to finish?
I did. I glassed thousands of boards.
Okay.
Until I didn't.
Hawaii comes up, okay? You're loving it. Michael's loving it now. Seeing why his brother Milton loved it for 5 years before him, okay? You guys decided to build a label. How does that happen? Michael.
We had already had a label since we were 16 years old.
Oh, so you guys were using the Willis Brothers label?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
All in California and Hawaii. And backtracking a little bit, it was Ed Surfos was very instrumental in introducing us into the North Shore board building scene. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I did. I was living up there with Pat Ross, up on the Pupukea with Gary Speece, another gnarly guy, heavy surfer, great shaper, told me to build square rails. He knew what was going on. Ed Surfos introduced me to Mark Fu. And Mark Fu at the time wasn't really a big wave surfer. And so we started working on big waves together. By then, Milton and I both built shaping rooms. He had a shaping room at Sunset Beach, across the highway, Malka side, and on the Mackay side of the highway, I had my shaping room.
Yeah.
Ed had introduced me to Mark Fu and Ace Cool. And so I started building boards for Mark Fu underneath his line, Hawaiian Vibrations.
Oh, okay.
And then Mark Fu would come over, and then afterwards we'd go to Sunset Beach. And I said, Mark, we had to start riding bigger waves. And Mark started riding bigger waves. He was a pipeline master, like backdoor.
Okay.
And going on the tour. But later on, the two of us, and then Milton also, started pushing bigger and bigger waves. And about that time, around 79, was the first time I rode Waimea Bay, which was a heavy deal.
Oh, wow. You remember that day?
Sure.
Okay. Is it in the book? Because I want to talk about it if it's not.
It's not in the book.
Let's go then.
Oh, good. Well, thank God I had a friend named John Thompson. And there I was first too, because Milton was first to ride Sunset Beach. And I want to say my first experience of Sunset Beach, I'm paddling out. I see Michael Ho ripping. And then I see this guy so far back in the barrel. I've never seen anybody in the barrel like that before. And it was Milton.
Yeah.
And I blew my mind because that's my brother, you know what I mean?
Right.
That's supposed to be Michael. But anyhow, back to the Waimea story. That was my first time at Waimea.
Okay.
Fortunately, I had a friend named John Thompson. And John had been surfing Waimea Bay for a few years.
Yeah.
And he came and made my mind right.
What does that mean? Made your mind right.
You got these Buzzy Trent guys running around who I really respect, or Ricky Gregg guys. And the thing was, they'd always laugh at the other guy saying his eyes are as big as saucers. It was a fear trip.
Yep.
Everybody always tried to put the fear,
Yep.
Big wave surfing was macho and very fearful.
Yep.
But this friend of mine, he was the opposite. And Ace Cool was instrumental in helping me to get my mind right and transcend. He'd crack jokes in the lineup and really enjoyed it. So from that perspective, the first time I went out there, I actually really enjoyed it.
So you weren't scared?
Well,
I mean, I'm sure there was fear, but it was more enjoyable than you maybe anticipated. Is that what you're saying?
I have a rule, and I hope people are listening to this one. It's very important.
Yeah.
When you go out there, say at Pipeline or Waimea or a Swami's, anywhere, blacks, try to get a wave as quick as you can, not to interfere with anybody, but even if it's not the biggest or the best or it's a closeout, always start your session as quick as you can, get a wave. And once you get that first wave out of your way, you're sort of on your way. So that's what I did as quick as I could. I think my very first wave was a 12-footer at Waimea Bay.
Which is a huge wave.
Well,
not for Waimea, but it's a huge wave.
It probably was 18 feet.
Yeah.
It wasn't the biggest or the best, but God, it sure felt good.
It sure did, I bet. Yeah.
And then from there, I went and got Milton to go, Milton, you got to go out there.
Okay.
And he did.
Did you have intentions of going out there, Milton?
Oh, yeah.
You always wanted to go.
My whole life, I was a big wave rider.
Okay.
Always. I like it.
Yeah.
It's exciting and it's fun. And this fear aspect, fear will sink the Bismarck. There's no place for fear. You have to be confident and do your homework. Be out there on a regular basis and work your way up. Then you don't have the fear.
Yeah.
Fear is just lack of preparation.
Okay. I like that too. Easier said than done, probably.
Well, those guys who are devoted to it, if you're starting to, here comes a 20-foot wave and you're paddling away from it, if you really take a breath and look, there's a pinnacle of guys out there paddling towards it. And it's competitive. You can't even have it if you want it.
Right.
There's guys fighting to get that wave.
Yeah.
And I got into that kind of mentality of not fighting, but trying to position. And I like the guys who were going for it. Ace Cool, Mark Fu.
Kenny Bradshaw.
Ken Bradshaw.
Yeah.
It's competitive.
Shane Horan.
It's very competitive.
Ross Clark Jones.
And it just, competition takes over the fear. There's no fear.
So you guys have years and years on Hawaii. How's your surfboard label going? Decide we're going to really start pushing, because at a certain point, I don't know, 80s probably, maybe 90s. I don't know. I'm going to go 80s when I was in high school and stuff. A lot of people were riding your boards.
Early 80s, it was incredible. Through Ed Surfhouse, we got a Japanese sponsor, Senzo Tonuma in Japan, and Hotline Wetsuits,
Out of Santa Cruz?
Hiro Iida. And through those guys, we made enough cash. We put a pretty darn good team together. We might have had the best team that ever existed outside of the Duke Pohoakanamako team with Cabell and those guys. But our team was rad hot.
Okay, who is it?
Well, Garrett McNamara, Liam McNamara, Andy Irons, Bruce Irons, Jason Majors. Can't forget that guy. And then a whole host of world-class guys getting our boards. Mark Fu, paying to have Milton, a board just recently sold. Scotty Bass's thing over here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They had a Willis Brothers board?
It was a Willis Brother board that Milton shaped.
Sweet.
Yeah, it went for the big dollars,
Yeah.
Zeros behind that thing. And Jamie O'Brien has a Willis Brother board on his wall in Hawaii right now.
Nice.
That Milton shaped that he bought in Indonesia.
How did you guys distinguish the boards, shapes, designs? Does that make sense, the question? Did you guys have your own riders that wanted Milton's board versus Michael's board? Or did they just put an order in and whichever one got their hands on it shaped that board?
Well, this is Milton. It boiled down to the designs, and Michael and I worked on. We had our own map or template, so we agreed on. Wow, this is the fastest bottom rocker.
Yep.
This is the best outline curves, and we had copies of the templates, and that's how we did it. And we ended up. The demand was so great. We had Mike Diffenderfer,
Yep.
Court Guyon, Randy Slay,
Greg Griffin,
a host of guys shaping under our label.
Chris Hawk.
Chris and Sam Hawk.
Yeah.
Really?
So they would shape our designs, and we'd shape our designs. But
So they were like ghost shapers, or what were they?
They weren't ghost shapers. They were regular. We just. It's like.
Did you put their name on there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
We had our designs.
Under Willis Bros.
And our
design.
templates and our rockers, and this is it. So when they shaped our boards, they shaped our boards. They can shape what they want, but for our team, they wrote our designs.
Okay.
And then we ended up coming out with a phaser bottom, which I'm listening.
And there was one tough
Michael?
guy I forgot to mention was Johnny Boy Gomes. He was really a powerhouse, that guy.
Yeah.
And he was instrumental in really promoting the boards. He got a lot of attention, negative or positive. He got a lot of attention.
From an average surfer guy that I've surfed my whole life, I bought one of your guys' boards used off the racks. I don't know who. I think it was Johnny Boy Gones' old board or something. As a high school student surfing Huntington, and it was the best board I ever had.
Ooh.
To this day. No, I'm not even kidding you. It was phenomenal. Okay, so you guys have all these years. You have this great team. Everything's going perfect, and you're in Hawaii. So I'm going to fast forward now. You guys don't shape today.
Oh yeah, I'm into it right now.
You're shaping it? Oh, you are shaping it. You always are
Selectively.
shaping.
Milton, he's too busy. Milton's busy.
Okay.
Me, I don't have the vision. I like to selectively stay involved.
All right. So you are shaping still.
Absolutely.
So we'll have your contact number on the thing. If anybody wants to order a board, you're available.
We can work it out.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Who was shaping for Johnny Boy Gums?
Milton built the best boards.
For Johnny?
He built the boards
Were these guys going and getting 3 boards from you? Well, the guys that had a quiver and they're on your team, were they getting 3 and 3 or something? Like, were you guys, or were the one working with one? That's my question. I'm sure there's...
In general, it was Michael and I both shaped for all the guys. And
Okay.
Some of mine, weren't quite as hit as others. And
No, yours were always hit.
But back on the Michael shaping, what I'm doing nowadays, my passion is to save lives through the rip current policy.
Okay.
And I've lobbied NOAA and USLA, and we've met with the top leaders, and they've actually updated the rip current policy because of Michael and I's lobbying.
Okay. Okay, so what is that called? You have a name for it.
Reach the beach.
Surfer's way.
Reach the beach. That makes sense.
Yeah, the surfer's way.
Okay, the surfer's way.
But our thing is, they say break the grip of the rip. Well,
Right.
to me, break is violent and grip is spooky. So if you say reach the beach, think waves. That's
I like that.
That's a lot more delightful to think. And we know that rips go out and waves come in.
100%.
This is what Eddie Aikau taught me in the early 1970s, was because he didn't want to. He was only one lifeguard on the North Shore.
Right.
He doesn't want to rescue everybody. He can't.
You can't.
So he
You can't
tells
be
you, hey,
everywhere.
the waves go in, the rip goes out. If you
Okay.
want to get in, go
So-
to the waves. And we're trying to make that common knowledge. We want everybody. If you're asked, hey, what do you do if you're in the rip? Everybody says swim sideways or parallel. Does it matter which way parallel you swim?
Kind of. Does it or not? I think so.
If you swim away from the waves, you're
Yeah.
getting pulled out. If you swim towards waves, you're getting pushed to the land,
Okay.
sand.
This is ancient Hawaiian way of staying alive, basically? Is that what you're saying?
100%.
Okay, so this is like the Hawaiians have practiced
Tried
this
and
over
true.
centuries.
Surfers have been doing this for thousands of years. They take the fishermen, they take
As
the
far
rip
as
out, they take
surfers
the
is
wave
this is
in.
Hawaii, obviously.
The original
birthplace, right?
indigenous Hawaiian surfers didn't need lifeguards because they were the lifeguards.
Well, yeah. There
And-
was those.
Yeah.
Their
And what,
society was based around the ocean, so
Yes.
they knew the ocean.
and what they say is blew out, white in.
That's what I was looking for.
Blew
right there.
out, white in. So when Milton says, the rips go out and the waves come in the Hawaiians, when they first explained it to Milton, and Milton explained it to me, as taught to him by Aikau, was blew out, white in. What do you mean, Milton? Blew out the deep water, the clear, flat water, that's going out. Don't get there. You'll go to Kauai where the tiger sharks are. The white, stay in that white water. It'll roll you in.
Eventually, yeah.
Eventually, even if you're unconscious, you will get to the shore. And that's better than being unconscious out where the tiger sharks are.
Yeah, that's
But
true. Too.
Better to be conscious and make it to the shore.
Yeah. What are the rules? Don't panic, kind of,
Stay calm. Never fight the current.
Right.
We told a friend of ours who used to spar with Bruce Lee. He's 90 years old now.
Right.
And we told him, hey, whatever you do, stay calm, don't fight the current, and swim toward the waves. Well, he just believed that what we told him was so accurate, it was incredible. And he went out there, and he asked the lifeguard, now, where's the rip? And he verified. Well, when he finally ended up after his body surfing wave, he started swimming toward the waves like we had told him. Only thing is he forgot never fight the current, and he kept swimming and swimming
then
to the
he's just
waves
in a circle.
until he had to get rescued himself.
He's exhausted.
So
Exhausted himself, correct?
So back to what you said, your steps, yes, is first thing, stay calm, just relax.
All right.
Don't fight the current if it's in the summertime pulling you that direction, in the winter pulling you the opposite direction.
Yeah.
Go with the swell direction that it's taking you and get to the waves. It'll take you right to the shore.
Okay.
Simple as that.
Let's touch on this book. You guys wrote it collaboratively, or let's talk about the book.
It took a team.
This is Michael talking.
Yes.
I feel the book is divinely inspired.
I'm sorry, this is Michael talking. I'm sorry, I meant Milton.
Okay, go on, Milton. Go on.
Go ahead. No, sorry about that.
What I really like is when people go, because we look alike.
Yeah.
He might have hair down to his ass, and I got short hair. But hey, and they'll go, "Hey, Michael," and I'll go, "No, I'm Milton," and they go, "Oh, I'm sorry," and I always go, "I'm not."
No, I was thinking of you. Yeah. All right, go ahead.
It's
Sorry.
a joke. I'm sorry.
I got you. No, I got it.
But the book, we both wrote it. It took a team. We got fortunate because we're working with a guy who knows about PDF files and all these other things who could handle the technical for us. But the actual story, Michael and I worked on it diligently for months to get the accurate account of what really happened, because there's a big hoopla going on, and they've harvested and the international enthusiasm for big wave surfing. And now they're leveraging it, and places like Nazaré are turning it from a poor fishing village into a resort destination. It's a big competitive thing, the big waves, and our book brings it out.
Give us a 2-minute summary of the book. Milton, go ahead.
Oh, a 2-minute summary: the greatest surfing story ever told. And this book is the I'll call it the key to human understanding.
Understanding of what?
Life itself.
Okay.
And facing challenges.
Okay,
and
I like that.
Going beyond yourself, because that's a whole part of the book, is to show people not calling attention to ourselves, but to the power that's within each and every one of us, individually and collectively.
Okay. So I haven't read the book yet, but I'm going to read the book 100%. I'm stoked on it. You guys were at the boardroom a couple weeks ago in Del Mar, had a booth up and stuff. What were people saying when you're meeting people? Did you meet a lot of new people, and did you see a lot of old friends?
Both. It was fantastic.
Tell us about it, Michael.
Well, first off, Scott Bass put on another great event.
Yeah.
I mean, it was great. Interestingly enough, a lot of the fellow vendors, they go, "Oh, this is one of the slowest shows." But for Milton and I mean, we were blessed. Everybody from Carl Ekstrom came by. Our Malibu crew, we've spent a lot of time at Malibu.
Okay.
The Malibu crew came by and supported, and we were signing autographs, and we sold out.
Oh, really?
We sold out.
Are you seriously?
Yeah.
Excellent.
It was beyond.
Awesome,
I
dude.
didn't know it would be so good, so.
Good job.
But thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God.
Yeah, there you go.
And,
there you go.
and that's the thing. Even in giant wave surfing, whatever, even the smallest wave has the power of the entire ocean behind it. So we always have respect for, but yeah, thank you, God, because that was
Okay. Milton, writing it, what was the process of writing the book? Was it page by page? You guys sitting down together doing paragraph word for word, or did you do your part and then you guys collaborate? Like, how did it go?
We did 67 iterations.
Wow.
Yeah, that means you read it and
Edit it.
It's like shaping a surfboard. You just fine tune it
yeah.
right down to the word selection. So it really paints a real vivid picture. We're proud of it.
Oh yeah, I'm stoked. It's a beautiful looking book
because it does highlight the rip current policy that we're advocating.
Mm-hmm.
Also has respect for Hawaii, the culture,
mm-hmm.
and teaches you a little bit about language itself. So there's a lot more than just our personal stories.
How was it moving to Hawaii? Especially you've been there a little longer, Milton. And the culture, was it hard to break into the Hawaiian culture being a Southern California kid?
No, because I always showed respect and I minded my own business.
Okay.
And I stayed out of the mix. I knew better than that.
What's the mix?
There is light and dark over there, and you can get involved as much as you want to. I chose just to stick to surfing and staying healthy.
Michael, when you went over there, did surfing help you with the culture in Hawaii? Understanding, I guess, more. I feel like surfers can get away more than like a guy from Arkansas.
You'd be surprised. A lot of Hawaiians and guys from Arkansas are very similar. Budweiser beer, and get along just fine.
I can see that too. That's funny you said that.
Well, it's like anywhere. You don't want to stereotype anybody because everywhere you go, it's pretty much the same. The same people you meet there, you're going to meet here. So the same mix that exists there exists everywhere.
Okay.
So it's
I can't argue that, but I guess how you look at it.
And it's very broad. There's some very educated local people, and there's some. It's just like California. You have educated.
So just like here, you were hanging out with surfers. When you went to Hawaii, you were hanging out with surfers. Surfers are surfers.
I had a lot of
Correct.
surfers friends, but I had a lot of friends, fisherman friends,
Right, of
musician
course.
friends.
Right.
My whole spectrum is a lot broader than just the, and Ohana.
Yeah.
You know, raising a family, I was with different families.
Music. How'd you guys get into music?
Oh, we were very young. Before we started surfing, we started playing music
Oh, so
and writing
you were
songs.
jamming on the guitar before you even surfed.
Yeah, it was something about that image, surfers and musicians.
Okay.
It was really attractive. And because of our growing up, as Michael told you earlier, it was a little bit rough. It was an escape. And it was a way to focus, and you could actually see the progress and feel it in your surfing and in your music.
How many songs have you guys written? Take a guess.
Hundreds. Going surfing with friends.
Yeah, I like that song. You guys seem to me, from an outside perspective, is kickback. You guys love each other. You guys are all about like surfing, really.
What you see is what you get.
I like that. Yes.
That's how it is.
Yeah. Has it always been that way?
Yes.
Yeah. Milton says yes. Michael, what do you think?
Absolutely.
Has surfing been the best thing ever happened to you or the worst thing to ever happen to you? Either one of you guys can answer.
By far the best.
By far, Milton says the best. Michael laughed. Is it a double-edged sword, maybe?
No, come on. In fact, I think that these soft surfboards and the way that surfing has opened up is fantastic. I'm so thankful that so many more women and girls have entered the sport of surfing. Older
Why?
people. I think it's good for society. And in my day, it was like they didn't want people to surf. They were like, oh my God, another surfer. But I've always wanted people and encouraged people. I used to teach surfing, you know, and I, by the way, yeah, but it's a positive thing for society. It raises a person's awareness. It raises their understanding and their humility. You can't go in there with a big head. Sooner or later, you always got to stay humble.
They get blasted by Mother Nature, right?
It can happen to anybody, but you got to be aware and ho'i'i is the word for respect in Hawaiian, so
Okay.
it teaches you.
I would like to thank Milton and Michael Willis for coming on the Quivercast. I am so stoked. I really enjoy myself, you guys. Thank you for coming on.
Blessings and respect to everybody.
So, everybody, Mike and the Willis brothers are out of here. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Boys and girls hanging round, surfers going up and down. That's when I caught my wave, knew what to do. Surf that wave right to the shore, and yes, dreams come true. Waimea Bay, what a fantastic sunny day. Boys and girls hanging around, surfers going up and down. When I caught my wave, knew what to do. Surf that wave right to the shore, and yes, my dream came true.
Excellent, you guys. Thank you. Hey, you guys. Endless Summer box set. This thing is legit. It's authentic. Numbered certificate in it. It has a 5-frame film strip from the original print. You literally own a piece of history. It has a specially minted bronze medallion. Dude, that thing's sick. Okay, there's so much more here. Go to the show notes. There's a link on there. Go check this piece of history out. This thing's rad. Seriously. Smithsonian American History Museum has it. It took 4 years of research with 3.5 in production, all hand assembled. This thing's rad. So much to this awesome box set. Remastered DVD, sharper images than the original film, but dude, this thing's so sick. Link in the show notes.